Is today the day that we win away? I fucking hope so. What's happening, Celtic family? Let's begin this like we do normally, like every other video. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. It is absolutely free for you to do so, and it really does help me build this channel. Thank you very much. What's happening, Celtic family? So this is the last group stage of the Champions League, and we are through. So we're going into this game with no real worries. Of course, we want to win this, but it's going to be a tough ask. We know fine well that Aston Villa are a good side, and we know that when we got drawn Aston Villa, we knew that this was going to be a tough fixture to go away to Villa Park, down to Birmingham, and play Aston Villa. Aston Villa have not had the easiest of groups through the Champions League. Not as easy or not as such a good group as ours. But they managed to come through it with sort of flying colours. They've played some really, really good football. I think they've only conceded, I had it up here, but now I don't. I think it's about 4 or 5 they've conceded, and they've scored about 10 within the competition. So we know fine well going to Villa Park down in Birmingham is going to be a tough ask. But I think we can do it. I think we can get something from this game, just going on recent form and on our form of Champions League. Now, take away the Dortmund game, Celtic have played some amazing football through this competition, and it's been an absolute joy to watch them. So we're at the last stage here, last game of the group stage, Aston Villa it is, and I'm going to take you over to my computer screen, and I'm going to give you what I think our starting lineup will be. Fucking losing the fucking will to live here. Right, listen guys, I'm not going to lie, I've done this about fucking 20 times now because something's happening with my microphone. It keeps popping, it keeps crackling. If you get the popping and crackling fucking through this, there's not much more I can do. I have tried my hardest to sort this out, but I'm going to run with it. I'm just going to run with it. So let's get into my starting 11. So let's go down this starting 11 and see if it's the same sort of starting 11 you would have. I think it's pretty straightforward. At number 1, we've got Casper Schmeichel out there. Out on the right-hand side, Alistair Johnson. Now, Alistair Johnson, for me, needs a big game tonight. I thought he was really quiet against Young Boys. Don't get me wrong, didn't think he had a bad game, but I thought he was really quiet. Done what he had to do, but just thought he could have given a wee bit more to the game. So I think tonight is going to be a big, big performance for him. I think he'll know he was pretty quiet against Young Boys, and he probably could have offered a wee bit more. So I'm expecting big things from him tonight. I'm expecting a big, big performance from him tonight. And I think he's going to have to work hard regardless, because I think down that wing, Aston Villa pose a threat. In the middle, we've got Liam Scales and we've got Austin Trusty. Obviously, Liam Scales in there for Cameron Carter-Vickers. If you watched Brendan Rodgers' press conference yesterday, you will see that Cameron Carter-Vickers is out. He should be back at the weekend, but he is out for this game. I looked up some amazing Celtic outlets yesterday, and they were saying that Cameron Carter-Vickers did not train with the team yesterday. So we kind of knew, even before the press conference, something had happened. Wasn't sure whether they were maybe just resting Cameron to keep him sort of fighting fit for this game. Good thing is that I don't think it's out for long. He looks like, as Brendan said, he will be back at the weekend, but he will miss out in this game. So that means Liam Scales comes in. Now, I'm a fan of Liam Scales. I like Liam Scales. I don't think Liam Scales has done much wrong to lose his starting 11 position, apart from Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty have been absolutely brilliant in there. They really have been. Austin Trusty this year, all I can think of, the bad game that he had was against Dundee, and it was woeful. Don't get me wrong. It was woeful. But since then, and even before then, he impressed me massively. Me personally, I like Austin Trusty, and I like the pairing between Austin Trusty and Carter-Vickers in there. But that doesn't take away that Liam Scales is a great player. He's done well since he came back to Celtic. He has done phenomenal. So I'm quite happy to see Liam Scales come in there. I do feel at peace. but they will be in for a hard time tonight because Aston Villa will have a lot of the ball. Obviously, out in the left, just the usual. Greg Taylor in there, out in the left. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant against Young Boys. I thought he'd done an amazing job. I thought he got forward when he had to get forward, attacked well, posed a threat, but also got back when he needed to get back. Now, that's not something I say about Taylor a lot. I feel like he gets caught out of position a lot. Now, I'm not one of these ones who think Taylor's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think domestically he has been absolutely phenomenal for us. But I think in Champions League he has struggled a bit. But I think this year in the Champions League he has really shown why he's such a good player and why people should sort of rate him a wee bit higher. I think he's been pretty good throughout the competition, but I thought against Young Boys he was brilliant. I know he came off for Alex Baye, and I don't think that was done out of Greg Taylor's performance. I think that was done to give him a rest because there's been so many games and we have so many games to go. But I think Greg Taylor against Young Boys, especially some of his balls into the box, there was a couple that went astray, but most of his balls into his box were phenomenal. So his crossing is actually getting a lot better, and it's good to see that they must be training that on the training ground at Lennoxtown. Straight through the middle, let's just go with Arne Engels, Cal McGregor, and Rio Hatate. Now, that pairing, that trio there, I've said this before, is becoming something to really, really behold. It's becoming a lovely, lovely trio in there. So good to watch. I thought, again, just going by the recent performance in Champions League against Young Boys, I thought they all gelled so well. I thought Callum McGregor was absolutely outstanding. Outstanding. I thought he was outstanding at the time, and I came back, I watched it, and I think he's even better. I think there must have been things that I missed out because Callum McGregor was phenomenal through that game. I can't remember who got man of the match, but he was most certainly my man of the match. Absolutely brilliant. The way that people go on about Callum McGregor being pretty quiet, not vocal enough, I can see that. I totally get it because he's maybe just a bit quieter than some other sort of captains that we've ever had. Neil Lennon, Scott Brown, he's probably a bit more reserved and quieter in that way. In that game against Young Boys, I sit in the Lisbon Lions stand lower and I heard him screaming and shouting at people, dictating and telling them where to be. It was phenomenal. Not only that, just the way that he played, the way that he drove at the defence, the way that he dictated the midfield, the way that he passed the ball to break the lines, everything was perfect, absolutely perfect. I am a massive fan of Callum McGregor anyway, so I'm going to bum him up for sure. But that game, and I also am very critical when I need to be, and I thought Callum McGregor. I know people are going, oh, everybody said that Callum McGregor's been quiet. Oh, he's proved you all wrong. Yeah, that game he proved us all wrong, but he has been quiet. I don't care what anybody says. He has been a lot quieter and probably not the Callum McGregor that we all know and we all love. He's been quiet through the last, I would say, from through December, he was quiet. So to see him against Young Boys last week, he was absolutely phenomenal. Engels in there is just becoming that player, that £11 million player. And I said it, and I've said it for weeks now, that he will prove to everybody why he's £11 million player by the end of the season. And I still 100% believe that. I think against Young Boys, he was brilliant. He got taken off, but I think it was just a case of rest him up. We've got a lot of games. Put Bernardo in there. It's like for like. But again, his awareness about football, his knowledge on it, and the passes that he makes, and his dead balls are just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And he is just going to get better and better. And that pairing him and Callum McGregor in there works so well. When one goes, the other one holds back. You can see it. It's absolutely phenomenal. And also, Rio Hatate, as you know, I have slated on here this season for not hitting the heights, as I keep saying, not hitting his full potential. And that's just because that is what I'm talking about, his full potential. He has been so much better in past seasons, and a few games of not playing that well, then you can kind of get over it. But it's been most of the season for me. You don't have to agree. There's a lot of people who don't agree in the comment section. That's fine. That is my opinion, that Rio Hatate has just not been that great this season. But against Young Boys, holy fucking moly. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Back to the Rio Hatate that we all know and we all love. He was loving it, and you could tell by the way that he was running about that park with his chest out. He knew he was on form. He knew that this is the way that I normally play. He was brilliant. Take away the pass to Adam Ida to get the goal. Take that away. Just his overall play, the way that he was breaking the lines with passes even before that pass, the way that he turns everybody. That is something that I have said about Rio Hatate, regardless how bad that he's been playing for me, how bad he's been playing. That is something I've said about Rio Hatate. Nobody turns players like Rio Hatate does. He done that umpteen times against Young Boys. He was phenomenal in there. Obviously, on the right-hand side, we're going for Kuhn. Nicholas Kuhn on the right-hand side. Listen, Nicholas Kuhn by far has been our best player this year. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody can make a statement for anybody else. But for me, Nicholas Kuhn has been phenomenal this year. And but I thought against Young Boys, he was quite quiet. And I only thought that the reason for that was that I thought that their big left back done everything in his power to make him quiet in that game. Now, these Young Boys guys were fucking massive. I thought they were rugby players, half of them. They were big. And Nicholas Kuhn is a threat. They knew that. They tried to isolate Nicholas Kuhn as much as possible. And a lot of the time it came off. He just couldn't find his way. He was in front of the defender, and then the defender, when the ball would come in, would stand in front of him, get in front of him, and get the ball away. He's kind of struggled, I thought, against Young Boys. And I didn't put it down to him playing bad. What I put it down to was the big left back defender for Young Boys actually done a really good job in keeping him quiet throughout the game. Over to the left, we've got Yang. Yang's the only person I can think to put in there. Obviously, we've got no Daizen Maeda. He, after his red card, he cannot play in this game. And obviously, James Forrest is out with injury. So Yang goes in there. Now, I know that Yang splits opinion with so many, but I have got to admit, I actually quite like Yang, and I think that there is a lot of potential with Yang. And I think over the last few games, he's played pretty well. Now, I know a lot of people say that he's quite sloppy and he can give away the ball quite a lot. I totally get it. I know what you're saying, and I've seen it a lot from him. But the last few games, even when he has done that, he has done everything in his power and he's won it back. So therefore, Yang coming in there would not be my first choice. Obviously, Daizen Maeda would be, or even Jota in front of that. But obviously, no Jota, no Daizen Maeda. So Yang going in there, I think this is the time for Yang to really step it up. And I think he will, and I hope he does, because I do genuinely think there is a good player in there. And talk about stepping it up, this is the perfect opportunity for Adam Ida to get himself really involved in this game and make an impact. I believe that he will be starting up front, because obviously we all know Kyogo is left. I am not going to keep talking about Kyogo. It is what it is. We wish him all the best and all the best of luck for everything he does in the future. But right now, we don't really have anyone else to go in there. That's taking nothing away from Adam Ida, because as I said, like other people in this team, like Hatate, we know what Adam Ida is capable of. He done it in his first season when he was here on a loan spell. He came in the door and he hit the ground running. This season, it's not quite worked that way for him. He's really been struggling to find his feet within this team. He's been struggling to get some goals. He's been struggling to get assists. He's just been struggling to really make an impact. He came on against Young Boys, and I thought, take away the goal. I thought he was good anyway. He made himself big. He made himself a target man, and it worked for him with an absolutely fantastic ball through from Hatate and a wee bit of luck with it coming off the keeper and the defender. but that will do his confidence the world of good, because if he wasn't there, if he hadn't have made that run, that goal does not happen. So it doesn't matter how they go in, that will hopefully boost his confidence. And I really do hope, because I like Adam either, I really do hope that that boosts his confidence that much that he comes out there and he really, really shows the Celtic supporters what it is he can do, and why, now that Kyogo's gone, that he deserves to keep that spot. So I'm just about to go in a minute, guys, because I have honestly done this 2, 3, 4 times. I don't even know if this is going to work, because the might start cracking again. So, but it is what it is. I'm going to wing it. But we all know this is just as much as an important game. We could finish this even higher up in the table. We're sitting on 12 points. I mean, Aston Villa are sitting on 13. We could take over that spot. This has been an absolute amazing Champions League run that we've went on this year. It has. Brendan Rodgers came back to the club, said that he wanted to compete in the Champions League, and he's done it. He has done it. But we can't rest there. We have to keep progressing with this. And I believe that Brendan Rodgers, still being at the helm for next year, that is what he'll want to do. He'll want to keep progressing and keep this consistency of Celtic competing in the Champions League. Did we get a group stage that benefited us? Yeah, I think that we got a group stage that wasn't the worst teams on the planet. But as everybody keeps saying, as Brendan keeps saying, as everybody keeps saying, and it is absolutely true, there is no easy games in the Champions League. There is no easy games. Everybody thought for us that Young Boys was going to be an easy game. Didn't turn out that way. Didn't turn out that way. A team that's sitting at the bottom of that league. I knew fine well going into that. Young Boys are a good team. Young Boys are a good team. And I knew fine well going into that they were going to make that as difficult as possible. And they did. Don't get me wrong. We could have scored 4 goals in the first half. So we were all over them. But they still made that very difficult. So there is no easy games in the Champions League. I am absolutely over the moon with the boys. I think they've done absolutely brilliant to get us to this stage. Some of the football has been absolutely fantastic, to the point of attacking and defending against Atalanta. That the show of defending, the show of spirit, heart, determination, absolutely unbelievable, unreal. I am so happy with how this season's went so far. We're still on for the treble. Can't beat it. So I'm going to go, guys, but listen, enjoy the game tonight. I will definitely be back. Probably, won't say tonight, but probably tomorrow, and I will give my reaction. And as I said, it's always good to hear from you in the comments. So leave in the comment section anything you want to leave in there. Let's get a discussion going. It is always good to hear from you. But until tomorrow, guys, stay safe out there, Celtic family. Hail, hail, and take it easy.